Hey chess enthusiasts, Francis here again. Today we are going to talk about part 2 of our Sicilian defense variation, Bishop G5. Last time we talked about, in part 1, we talked about the G4 move. So after Queen to F3, we talk about White's G4 move. Here, in this part 2, we are going to talk about the Queen to G3 move. And in this variation, Black has 3 major responses, so I'm recommending you can try them all. So first we have H6. In this variation, Black will not castle, and instead she chooses the dynamic line of H6 G5. So after the bishop retreats to H4, we have G5, and after F takes G5, we have Rook to G8. After Knight to F3, we have Queen to A5, and after Queen to F4, avoiding the pin, we have Knight to H5, and after Queen to G4, we can repeat our moves. Knight to F6, Queen to F4, Knight to H5, and if he repeats his moves, we must be ready to make a draw. If White moves his queen to other square, like Queen to E3, the resulting position will be good for Black. H takes G5. So that's it. If you do not like this line, we also have an early castling for Black. The bishop to E2. I'm not recommending B5 move because White has an immediate E5, which is good for White. So here, instead, we have Knight B D7. After bishop to E3, instead of moving our pawn to B5, which will on H and A8, I'm recommending Knight to B6, and we try to survive this resulting position. After E5, D takes E5, F takes E5, Knight F D5. Here, if White responds with bishop to H6, pinning our pawn and threatening a mate in G7, we have this reply, bishop H4, and after Queen to H4, we have Queen takes E5, check with check, and after Knight D E2, covering the king, we have G takes H6. And the resulting position is good for Black. Let's say Queen makes capturing move, we have Knight takes C3, B takes C3, and after Knight C4, and after Black castles, we have Queen to E3 checks. The resulting exchange of queens will be good for Black. Here, if White castles, we have Queen to G5 check, and the resulting exchange of queens will be good for Black. So here, White may opt Knight to E4. Our response is Knight to C4. So we survive a similar position. So here, let's go back to move 9. Instead of castling, we can also choose Knight B D7. But this resulting position is dangerous for black, although we can obtain equality. It's very difficult to find defenses. So here, immediately castle, and then defending king to h8. So after bishop to f3, there are three good moves. We can kick away the bishop, or we can try to exchange the bishop by moving our knight to g8. But here I'm recommending knight to b6, and after e5, we get a similar position from the previous one. D takes e5, f takes e5, knight f d5, after knight to e4, we have knight c4, bishop takes e7, knight takes e7, knight to d6, knight to g6, and after knight takes c4, we have queen to take c4, and after king to b1, queen to c7, threatening a very important e5 pawn. After white centralizes rook to e1, we have bishop to d7. If it tries to attack with h4, simply have f6, and this is very good for black. If you do not like knight to b6, we have h6. The resulting position is scary. Let's say, for example, black responds with queen to h3. My recommended reply is knight to b6. After bishop takes h6, g takes h6, we have queen takes h6. We have the defensive move or defensive idea, knight to h7. And after rook to d3, we have rook to g8. And after bishop to h5, we have bishop to f8. And that's good for black. If black moves to his bishop to e2, so that his rook can switch to the h1 file, we have rook to g6, kicking away the queen. So after queen to h5, we have rook to g7. If you do not like h6, because it's very dangerous for, you find it dangerous for white, we have knight to g8. After h4, we simply ignore the bishop and move with knight b6. And this is fine for black. So that's it, guys. I hope you win many games in Sicilian.